Boruto Two Blue Vortex's story has been moving very quickly since the start of the very first chapter. From Boruto fighting numerous enemies like Code, Kawaki, and the new Shinju villains like Jura and Hidari, Boruto has been put in constant battle ever since he made a return to Konoha. While he has been able to protect the village for the past 12 chapters, the village is once again wide open to another attack, thanks to Jura sniping Boruto across the battlefield, making him fall to the ground. We've already discussed some potential options that could happen in the next chapter, but in today's video, I wanted to talk about when and possibly how Boruto can activate his Jougan in Two Blue Vortex. When it comes to the new abilities that Boruto has learned so far, such as Flying Thunder Gadjutsu and Rasengan Uzehiko, he has been able to fight off the top tiers of the verse so far. However, just like with everyone else, eventually Boruto will hit a crossroads with his own strength. Every year, I have made a Jougan video discussing the possible debut of it coming into the manga. Now that we are essentially a year into Two Blue Vortex, we have to talk about it again. Why? Well, because I want to, but we should speculate the introduction of it coming into the time skip, since the more Boruto is in action as the series progresses towards stronger opponents like Jura, the more necessity of Boruto activating his dojutsu in order to protect himself and save the village. And let me make this clear, I don't expect Boruto to activate the Jougan anytime soon in the following chapters, since there are still some options for Boruto to get stronger, such as Momoshiki taking over, going into another training arc, and getting better control over his own karma. However, whatever route Boruto goes down, he will exhaust his options over time, making it more obvious than ever that the Jougan can make an appearance. In part 1, I tried to rationalize that the Jougan won't be coming anytime soon, despite the fandom's best efforts of trying to convince everyone that it will be shown at the end of part 1 in the manga. Otsutsuki lore was a big priority pre-time skip with Boruto and Kawaki, as they became perfect Otsutsukis thanks to their karma progressing and becoming vessels, and I've mentioned in the past that introducing the Jougan while Boruto was dealing with problems like Momoshiki and the Omnipotence would have had Kishimoto potentially cutting some corners in order to move the story. Even right now in the story, Boruto still has to overcome using his karma to reach a higher power level, and also to be able to fight Kawaki since he knows that Boruto can't control it. The way the story has been progressing so far, there are some clear problems that Boruto has to overcome, or else it will be his demise. In a previous video I've made, I've talked about how Boruto can master his karma seal, and one of the options could be the Jougan activating in order to suppress Momoshiki. The truth about this situation is that we still have to get to that point in the story, which we haven't yet. In other words, Kishimoto can't throw too many ingredients in the dish, and we just have to let the story cook. Every time Boruto has used the Jougan, which has only been shown in the anime mind you, it has been more or less used as eye candy to remind the audience that eventually Boruto will have control over the eye when in the face of danger. In the Academy arc, it seemed like every episode the Jougan was appearing every time Boruto saw something was up or was used in a confrontation. In the Momoshiki fight, the Jougan appeared for a few seconds in pivotal moments, which allowed Boruto to gain the edge, and as well as when he and Shinki were fighting Urashiki, when he was able to see him coming in and out of dimensions. That was the last time we ever saw the eye, which was a few years ago in the anime, and for the manga to introduce it, Boruto must be put in a corner where he has no other options to survive or to protect the village. Right now in the story, Boruto has been put into the ground from Jura. However, knowing how smart he is, as well as being under Kashin Koji's guidance, I doubt this is where Boruto gets desperate, as every time he gets put in this situation, he seems to be able to find a way to stay alive, since he knows he is a target after all. Boruto could escape using Flying Thunder Gadjutsu back to where Koji is at and plan a counterattack since Jura is trying to kill him right now. However, with Jura wanting to devour Kawaki as well, Momoshiki also wants to feed Kawaki to 10 tails to harvest a chakra fruit, albeit this still aligns with his goals since it will still produce a fruit in the scenario that Kawaki gets devoured by Jura, which is Momoshiki's end goal. Whatever happens in the next few chapters will dictate if Boruto continues to spiral in terms of keeping himself safe since he was shot down by Jura, and the village is wide open again for another attack by Jura and the other Shinju that haven't been shown inside of Konoha yet. Even though there is a possibility that Boruto could leave and regroup, he understands that he must continue to protect the village, with Kawaki being the only other character left standing on the battlefield. Despite Boruto being on the ground, we don't know how much damage he is either, since for all we could know, he could just get up and start fighting again. However, with Jura planning to kill Boruto as soon as possible, Boruto must continue to fight to protect himself and Konoha, or else everyone will die, since we know nobody has a chance against Jura inside of the village outside of Boruto, of course. Just like how the Jougan seems to pop up at random times in the anime, I also think it will be similar when Boruto activates it in the manga manga for the first time, similar to how Sarada unlocked her Mangekyo Sharingan, and to be honest with you, other dojutsu reveals. There needs to be a major event that must occur in order for the eye to appear, and that's why honestly, I think for Boruto to activate his Jougan for the first time, he needs to be put in that scenario. The Omnipotence event was so massive for the story as it forced Boruto to become a rogue ninja, but something not many people talk about is how from that moment moving forward, he hasn't used his karma freely ever since. When Kawaki tried to kill Boruto after stealing Naruto away, Momoshiki made a quick appearance after the Leaf Village managed to corner Kawaki, where he was able to set him free temporarily, which led to the Omnipotence Jutsu activating, forcing Boruto to leave the village for 3 years. Ever since Boruto has come back, he seems to find ways to escape death and fight back against powerful opponents. However, the following chapters will show if Boruto will be put in a deeper rabbit hole than before since he was caught off guard by Jura. Boruto is in constant communications with Koji via a toad, meaning that he will have guidance on every move that he does make, such as when he was fighting the Shinju when they first appeared in TBV, so most likely this will follow suit. Also, knowing how smart Kashin Koji is, I do think he has some contingency plans created for Boruto in the scenario that he could die, and potentially in the scenario that Momoshiki breaks loose from captivity. He already knows what the Thorn Souls are and most likely knows more information when it comes to the Ten Tails and Otsutsuki. Since Jura knows that Boruto understands what the Thorn Souls are since they came from Koji, eventually Jura will discover who Koji is one way or another since they are talking to each other. Kawaki caught on after Boruto grabbed the Thorn Soul when he verified the identity of the object with him, so this could create more suspicion with Koji's appearance in the series, and who knows, Koji could make an appearance on the battlefield since he is pretty strong. His fate is destined to protect the village like Boruto since it was prophesied by Ishiki when they first met, and if Boruto can no longer move since he is put into the ground, there could be a scenario where Koji could come to the village to help Boruto out. Anytime there is a dilemma that neither Boruto or Koji can anticipate, there seems to be a plan B for their plan of action, and with Koji being the shot caller and the brains for Boruto, if he too gets killed again or removed from the story, this will heighten Boruto's chances of utter failure. Let's not forget, Momoshiki is preying on Boruto to despair and give up his body. However, so far Boruto has been headstrong on everything that he has done, even if he is at a disadvantage, like not being able to control his karma and getting jumped by the Shinju back in chapter 4. I think for Boruto to awaken his Jougan, he will have to lose all of his options, such as Kashin Koji dying, Momoshiki awakening through his body, and for other characters close to him to die, like Konoha for example. I see it working like a last ditch effort where he has no other choice because right now, there are some ways for the story to go down for Boruto to continue to stay alive. Since we know that he cannot control his karma when confronting Kawaki, he will have to overcome it. As in the opening scene in the anime, he awakened his karma using the Jougan, where it looked like he has gained some control over his body without fear of Momoshiki coming out. Boruto's connection with Toneri will also be vital as Toneri initially was able to communicate with them during the first arc of the anime. Boruto will shoulder the fate of this world as destruction is incoming from threats like Jura in this case, and he will be the star of hope to dispel the darkness of the planet. Essentially, the only character having the ability to save the village from future threats like the Shinju, which is Boruto's fate. However, I think in order for him to do that properly, he has to despair further than anything he's ever been through before, even beyond the Omnipotence event like the village being destroyed and close characters to him actually dying. But let me know what you guys think about this video in the comment section below. When do you think the appropriate time will be for Boruto to awaken his Jougan? Because I feel like it will be something nobody will see coming at all. So if you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe, hit the bell as well, and have a good day. Peace.